time back in the studio, and if you're new here, I just wanted to thank you for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel, and I really hope that you are learning some new things. I also wanted to say thank you to those of you who tipped me a coffee on the Tip Me a Coffee link that I have below or in my About section. I really appreciate it, and it's so encouraging to get an email and see that people are supporting your channel and they're learning, and it just really helps me out. You can see I have done a little painting, less colors involved, less pink here. I've also painted the back shelf, which was also very colorful before, so I'm really happy that everything's white now. Over time, maybe I'll add some lights and some plants, but so far it's white. For this video, I am going to do another silk technique, which is where I lay the silk over the wool, but I put a piece of fabric inside. So this technique is best done with some polyester fabric or acrylic fabric, or a fabric that won't felt to the wool, so that it will, once the silk is laid over top of your acrylic or polyester cut pieces, the pieces inside kind of can move around a little bit and it just hasn't completely felted, and then you'll be able to see the pattern of that through the silk, and it gives it kind of this nice bubbly texture. I have this cotton and it's quite thick, so I'm choosing quite thick fabric for this project. I have this one and it's supposed to be silk, but I'm not sure if that's actually true. I just know it's quite thick. Also have some other silk, just some really bright fun colors I'm going to play around with. I have already laid out one layer of my project in the vertical direction, and I'm going to use merino wool. I usually use merino wool for these surface techniques. I'm going to lay out the rest of my fiber, and then the final layer I'm going to play around with the materials. And I'm going to spray it down, nice and wet. Take my bubble wrap, bubble side down, place it on top, and then I'm going to press, and I just want that fiber to be fully saturated. We'll add some soap. To decide what color I'm going to put underneath, I usually take the fabric that I'm going to lay on top of my project, and I just take my other fabric and lay it on top just to see if I can see what that's going to look like underneath the silk layer. And so I have put all these colorful fabrics underneath, and you can see them quite well, and they do look kind of cool. This white pattern, which looks pretty neat. And then I have this one as well, which would be kind of fun to do. Sheer nylon from the dollar store, and it is quite see-through, and so it's the most see-through silky type fabric I have found, and it works quite well. It does create kind of a rougher surface than silk would once it's finished, so it might not be great for garments unless it's on the outside. I think I'm just gonna have some fun and go with these different colors. And just make some shapes and place them on top, something quite simple. And I do think it'll be easier to cut the shapes if the silk is wet. So I'm just gonna wet them all. Just dip them in some water so that they're not so wrinkly. left some around the edge so that the silk can bind to the top, or the nylon fabric that I'm going to use, it's going to bind to the top. You could use silk as well, and so I have this one, and it also is quite see-through, and so something like that would be nice, so that you would just see a subtle pattern through the silk, so that could add a really nice subtle technique. But this one is much more see-through, and so we're going to be able to see what the fabric does more easily. So we'll use this corner. This is a nice corner. And I'll just press that fabric down. Pretty satisfying to do that. And we'll just cut that. It all. As long as that gets the over top of that nice and straight. Now that looks really cool. So I've added some soap, and I'm going to lay my bubble wrap on top, and I'm going to flip it over so the design is facing down, and I'm just going to begin to roll my project as I normally would in the beginner how to make a piece of felt video. So you can see now that the nylon fabric has stuck down to the wool. So this fabric here, it either isn't silk or it's just too thick for the wool to penetrate through the fiber. And then I'd like to see this one when it's dry to see if I can pick up this fabric and have it not stuck down to the fabric. That is the idea of this technique, and it creates this kind of cute little bubble with the fabric inside, whereas these ones don't have that bubble at all.